Hi, and welcome to this week's Walk the Wu Wei. It's great to see you all. And this week, David and I are talking about the topic of self-acceptance and self-forgiveness. Again, as per usual, massive topics in terms of people's emotional health, personal development and personal understanding. Also, really, what we're going to be talking about tonight is the topic of forgiveness, which we're going to offer you a massive paradigm shift, really, in terms of a Taoist teaching on forgiveness, or what is forgiveness, and is there such a thing as forgiveness? So tonight, we've one of our relatively new clients, Christine, has kindly said we can share her story, which is totally relevant to this topic. So Christine, 20 years ago, she had left her marriage. She describes it as a very abusive relationship, and when she left, she took her two young children with her at the time. So 20 years later, obviously Christine has now come to us, and she's told us that she now deeply regrets the decision she made at that time 20 years ago. She believes it has affected the happiness of her children, and it's also significantly affected or detrimentally affected their relationship with their father. Christine says she can't forgive herself for what she did at the time, and this is, obviously something quite significant 20 years ago. And 20 years later now, she still says she's got all the what ifs. And what if she'd done that instead, or what if she'd gone down a different route instead, always running around in her head every day. She can't accept the decision she made, what she did, and she can't get closure. So thank you, Christine, for sharing that with us. And David, do you want to just offer your initial thoughts on this topic?
Well, this is a very important topic, as all of our topics are. And Christine, you should not be in an abusive relationship. Mm-hmm. You should not be in an abusive relationship. No one should be in an abusive relationship. You deserve more than that, Christine. And so rather than going over it, I would think it shows tremendous courage, and well done for changing that environment. Now, of course, you made a choice to take your children with you and move them out of that abusive relationship, and stop condemning yourself. Stop being judgmental. Of course, it means another different way, but children need to be safe, and you're their mother, and your job is to keep them safe, and they should be safe as in a relationship. So first of all, stop being judgmental. We're back to the power of three.
So when you say she's being judgmental against herself, obviously, by saying that she can't forgive herself.
Well, she's being totally judgmental. So what she's saying is she should have stayed as in the relationship and see the children see her being abused. It shouldn't be like that. And so she's being judgmental about herself. How does she know, for instance, if she'd have stayed there, things could have got even worse? Yeah. So the power of three: do not criticize, do not be judgmental, do not compare. You made a choice at that time with the information that you had that was right for you and your children. Well done, Christine. Well done. What is it you got to forgive? What is it you're looking for? And the Taoist teaching is, from my understanding, is we don't believe in forgiveness, because who and what are you forgiving? You just made a decision. You made a decision to move out, the best decision that you could make. Now, of course, that did affect your children, without a doubt. But staying in the relationship would have affected the children.
And this is the thing. Obviously, it's very easy for anyone in retrospect to look back with a fuller amount of knowledge, more life experience, and say, well, actually, if I'd have gone down that route or made that choice, it may have been better. But fundamentally, there's never 100% right choice.
But how does she know? This is what I always say to my clients. They say things like, well, if I hadn't have just met him, if I hadn't have done this, it would have been better. How do you know it would have been better? It could have been a lot worse. Just accept accept you made that decision, accept you are where you are. The children are now, it's 20 years later, if they want a relationship with their father, that's their responsibility. Encourage them to go and get a relationship with their father. You can't stop them now. They're 20 odd. If they want to build up a relationship with their father, then you explain to them quite simply why you made that decision with the information you had at that time.
Yeah.
Be honest with them, be straightforward with them, and let them go and find a relationship with their father and build on that relationship.
Yeah.
I would encourage that. They're old enough to look after themselves now. At the time when you were meant to protect them, that's what Christine did. Well done, Christine.
Yeah.
You did the right
And
thing.
so you really, when you're kind of reviewing the choices and the options and the possibilities in your mind, it's only reasonable to also bring up all the positives and all the good reasons for the choice you made. All too often it can be easy when you almost, you kind of want to beat yourself with a stick to just focus on all the negatives.
Well, you know the Wu Wei, stop it, don't beat yourself with a stick.
Yeah.
That doesn't do anything at
Yeah.
all. You made a decision, you are where you are, be where you are. I would speak to your children, your grown-up children now, and tell them they can hear it now. When they were 20 years ago, they couldn't hear the problems. They can hear it now.
And
explain to them the process.
And explain to them the rationale for the
Absolutely.
decision, and open up a discussion about it. And to me, that's kind of part of the healing process for you and your children and the whole family energetic dynamic. Because for sure, where Christine is now and the things she's been telling us, this lack of self-forgiveness, lack of acceptance, self-acceptance of the decisions she made is creating a massive energetic block and stagnation of just rumination on the same thoughts going round and round. And really that's holding back her life. And undoubtedly, it's kind of holding back Christine's relationship with her children now. Decisions she made 20 years ago is probably still affecting her children now by virtue of the fact of the effect it is having on their mother's energy and thought patterns.
Well, what she's done, she's created a carousel for herself. What if? She did what she did. It sounds with the information that we've got. Well, just in abusive relationships, she shouldn't be in an abusive relationship. No person deserves to be in an abusive relationship. It is about valuing yourself.
Yeah.
It's about holding on to realizing that you are divine. You do not deserve to be in any abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Then she took her role as a mother to protect her children. She did exactly the right thing. Now, her children can't say what if, because they don't know what was happening. What happened is what happened. If the children want something else now, because of her good guidance, now they're in a position that they can go back to their father and they can start to build a new relationship with their father. I would guarantee 20 years on, the father's changed as well, and perhaps he's realised, and perhaps he can throw some light onto the situation. Don't stop the children now. They're 20 odd, they can do it themselves. But Christine, stop this what if. What if Martians land? What if Father Christmas is real? You can carry on forever.
And the creative imagination of all the possibilities, of all the scenarios, and all the outcomes, and none of them, none of them are real. None of them are known. None of them are definitive.
Well, you don't know. Can I give you the translation? This reminds me of when I was working with one of, I call him my master, but he's not my master. One of the masters of the Wudong. And when we was talking about this what if, he says change what if to what is. What is now?
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
Yeah.
What are you thinking now? How do you want to go forward from now?
Yeah.
Because all we have is now.
Is the now.
And
all Christine has is the now of her relationship with her children now, and the now of all the positive possibilities of what she can do to build that relationship, and to start to kind of get an understanding of more of herself and a bit more self-compassion, really, rather than a habit of kind of beating herself up, which, you know, in a way, this lack of self-forgiveness, lack of acceptance of what was a perfectly sensible, compassionate choice at the time. But now, you know, there is a clear lack of acceptance with that.
You see, but this self-forgiveness, I don't know what she has to forgive.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
do you want to give
understand.
the actual Taoist teaching on forgiveness and the fact that the Taoists really don't believe or buy into the concept of forgiveness at all?
Well, the idea behind that, and it's a big teaching, and perhaps we can go into it in more details, and I'm sure we will as we go down. Forgiveness is a hierarchical value. You're forgiving somebody. So, say for Christine, what part of her, this is where it gets really complicated, what part of her is forgiving what part of her? If you think about it, it doesn't make sense. You know, why doesn't she just accept that was a chapter on her journey? The train stopped at that station. She's no longer at that station. That station was 20 years ago. But she is here right now in this place. Why doesn't she just accept where she is in this place and make decisions for now? And really, it's about training your mind. It's about stopping going on the carousel of going round and around and around. And you know, one of the best words to say, stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
Yeah.
Because if you indulge your mind, it will take you, it's like having a big dog and the dog's pulling you all over the place. Stop it and just come back into what you have now. What is it now? And if it's not right now, how do you make it right now? Take full personal responsibilities. Encourage you, if your children are moaning to you that they've missed out something, say, well, don't miss out now. Go and visit your dad. Make up for it.
It's about the now. So
it's about the now.
in terms of actions for Christine, then talking to herself, perhaps through kind of meditating on the truth of acceptance and expressing a bit more self-compassion.
And can I just say, before you move on, the book I would recommend Christine to read is Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now.
Yeah.
And that really emphasises about going in the now. So do some homework, as Alex said. Do some reading. Do some meditations. I think we have some meditations on being as in the now and being in the moment. So that's the first thing to do. Talk about it like you're doing now. And
talk to our children.
Please talk to your children. Communication, remember that's communication. Listen to what people are writing down below. Get involved with the community. Share your thoughts. And I know you're worried about what people think about you, but this applies to everybody, Christine. Just read some of these comments that all come through of this. It's very important.
And I think I just want to say as a final point, I think, and David touched upon it, for me personally, what I always find extremely helpful, because, you know, this acceptance of things past, it is a work in progress. Some people can very swiftly accept, some people have to meditate, take some time, remind themselves to be self-compassionate. But I always, you know, when it comes into my mind thinking about, you know, decisions I've made in the past, you know, which I think, oh gosh, I should have, you know, done things differently. I always remind myself that, you know, the decisions I made at the time were the best decisions I could make with the knowledge I had at the time. I made them authentically with the knowledge I had at the time. Now, looking back, I know and I acknowledge I'm now older, perhaps a little bit wiser, got more life experience. Perhaps the decisions I would make now are different. But it's almost like I have a visualization of, when I think about the situation, I visualize almost like the young self. I guess it's like an inner child visualization, but I visualize myself at the age I was when I made the decision of whatever situation I'm thinking about. And I kind of send love to myself, really. And acceptance, and I tell myself you did the best at the time. And for me personally, that really helps me, and I just wanted to share that because I hope it might help other people as well.
I think that's important, Alex, because there's all we could do is what we could do. And if you want hard facts, and you know on Wu Wei Wisdom I like to give you hard facts, it's the power of three. I can't say it enough.
Yeah.
Do not criticize, do not be judgmental, do not compare yourself or anyone else. Just refuse to do it. Try bricking up that entry. Don't go down that road. And you see your life changes right now. And all about what we're doing here in the community, and everybody's sharing, and it's about making changes that stick. Don't do it. Stop it. Stop it now.
So, Christine, I hope that's helped you, and I hope it's helped everyone else who's watching the video. As per usual, please feel free to post any comments or questions you have on this topic or for Christine below. And we're always here to help, and we look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.